Good afternoon. My name is Carl. I'm with Taylor Enterprises of Kentucky, and today we're going to do a brief overview of the controls for a C302 FCB machine. You'll notice I'm standing next to a machine just like the ones you have currently in your stores, and this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to open up our monitor so that we can access our power switches as well as our control panel. You'll notice that we have two control switches here, left and a right, so you can turn off one side of the machine while continuing to run the other side. We're going to go ahead and turn the left side off now. So our left side is now off and our right side is still running. We're going to go ahead and turn it back on. You're going to hear a beep. It's going to initialize, and then it's going to come up and it's going to say safety timeout, hit any key to abort, and we're going to hit a button, and it's going to go right back into the auto mode, which is where we were when we shut it off. You hear our compressor kick on, so we know that everything is working correctly, and these two barrels are in a freeze mode now. These lights are flashing because not servable product yet. It has to cycle off as it freezes down, and then those lights will extinguish and you'll be able to draw product out to serve. We're going to talk about our keypads. Each barrel has its own keypad, a left and a right for each side of the machine. We're going to talk about these keypads and the buttons, what they mean, what they do. First, on the far left, you'll see an off button. If you hit the off button now, it will turn off both of these barrels. Go ahead and hit off, and both of these barrels now have stopped turning. The next button you'll see is your auto button. We're going to go ahead and hit auto, and it's going to turn on just this left-hand barrel, barrel 1. In order to, that's now in auto, but in order for us to put barrel 2 in auto, we also have to hit the auto button on that keypad. Now they're both back in auto. Momentarily our compressor will kick in and we'll freeze down the product. The next button that you see is our prime button. This is used when you run out of syrup and you hook up a new syrup bag. You need to hit the prime button to pull the syrup up to the switch so that the switch is satisfied. Next up, you'll see a beater button. And what beater does, when you hit the beater button, all it does is just turns the beater inside of the barrel. There's no refrigeration. It's never going to freeze the product. It's just going to roll around and around and around in there. And then the last button on our left keypad is the alarm silence. So when you run out of syrup or you have a fault, this machine will make an audible tone so that it alerts you that there's an issue. The alarm silence button, when you push it, will stop that noise for a period of about 10 to 15 minutes, giving you the opportunity to fix the fault and to go ahead and put the machine back in auto. On our right-hand keypad, you're going to see an off button, an auto button. Let me explain one other thing. On the right-hand keypad, there are symbols underneath each word. The off has a left-facing arrow, which means that you can go through your menu to the left. The auto has a right-facing arrow, which means that you go through your menu to the right. The prime button has a plus symbol, which means you can go up through the menu. And the beater button has a minus symbol, which means you can go down through the menu. And then you have the menu button itself, which is also your select button. To get into the menu, you would actually have to hit that menu button. It would bring up a menu, and then you could scroll through it the way that you needed to. Again, each side is independent, so you can run just the left side or the right side. And when you hit auto on one keypad, you have to hit auto on the keypad of the barrel that's on the same side with that. You'll notice we have a troubleshooting guide right here. Basically, it's going to give you some suggestions to try if you're having certain issues. And then next to that, you're going to see an LCD screen. On the LCD screen, it basically tells you what's going on with the machine. The top line is called your mode line. And right now, because both barrels are in auto, it says auto, mode, auto. So our mode line is auto. If this barrel 2 was in beater, it would say auto. then the middle word would be mode, and then that right word would say beater. That will indicate to you that it's not in the freezing position. The next line down is our SERP line, and right now they both say OK because we have SERP bags hooked up. If we were out of SERP, one of them would say out, and when that says out, then it alerts you that you need to hook up a new bag and prime it up. The following line on the LCD screen is going to be clear unless you have a fault, and then it's going to have the word fault there and it's going to flash. And then our bottom line is our CO2 and water, and they should both read OK. If you're not reading CO2 or you're not reading water, then you need to investigate those things, make sure a water line's not turned off or your CO2 is not empty or turned off. And that is a brief overview of how our control panel works on a C302.